Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lusha's webinar on how to turn buying signals into booked meetings. We are excited to have you all here with us today, and we want to take a moment to thank you, first and foremost, to the fact that you guys joined us. And as always, we create these webinars so that we can share them with you, and you can share them with your teams, and you can find new ways to outreach smarter, to prospect faster, and to personalize better. And these sessions are designed to teach you and to guide you and to inspire you so that you take the key factors away today and you implement them into your daily routines. And they can literally be used right after this session. So my name is Tal. I am the host of the session today, and I am part of the customer success team here at Lusha. With me, we have our amazing product managers. We have Hen on the data side, who will talk about how to use Lusha's data to kick off the first step. And then we have E on the engage side, talk about the second step, and he will teach us everything we need to know about how to turn signals into booked meetings with a proper outreach. Now, just before we kick things off, and for those who are just getting started, Lusha is a data intelligence platform fully compliant with GDPR and CCPA certifications. At Lusha, it's really all about giving you guys access to the most reliable B2B data out there with over 160 million contacts, always ready when you guys are. We are constantly improving the system behind the scenes using AI to keep the data sharp and up to date. And it's really updated daily based on real feedback, by the way, from you guys right here on this call. So, of course, thank you for the help on that. And it goes both ways. You guys help us, we help you in return. And the more we use Lusha, the smarter and better it gets. Now, by the way, if you missed our last webinar about a month and a half ago, I think, we went live with Lusha 3.0, which is a true game changer. And it really moved us to the era of AI with automations and autopilot mode. And at Lusha, we just call it sales streaming. That was like pretty much the name of the last webinar, but it's exciting and we have a lot to talk about. So today we'll just kick things up to while using valuable data. Then we'll show you when is the right time to reach out using AI smart signals that actually tell you when someone is most likely to talk. After that, we'll cover how to keep things organized so you're not losing track of people or your processes. Then we'll talk about how to take action and, of course, also how to set up simple but powerful flows that send the right message to the right person, removing any manual work. That's the A to Z kind of structure, which is my favorite part. But we'll show you also a live demo, and at the end, we'll open it up for questions. So feel free to ask anything that comes to mind. I just want to point out, as can be seen on the screen, that this session is being recorded and will be shared with all the participants. So you can find it on our YouTube page. You can find it under our resources page on the main website. You have the webinar section to sign up for trainings for admin, Q&A sessions, live trainings. And I also want to point out Lusha's Academy, where you can grab a course and lessons about all sides of Lusha. It's available for you on demand whenever you guys want it. So reminding you, under resources, Academy and webinar, and of course, YouTube to watch this recording. So let's talk about the challenges that we face today. Now, you know that feeling where you're just not sure who you should be connecting with. You might have an idea, right? But it's really hard to drill down and pin down the exact person. And if you're not clear on who your ideal customer is, you end up wasting time on the wrong people. And you find someone, you send them a message, maybe even book a call, but then you actually realize they are not a good fit. Now you multiply that by 10 or 20 times a week, and suddenly you lost a big chunk of time just wasted on dead ends. And this one is actually really frustrating. You finally found a company that looks perfect, only to realize then that the data is old, it's stale, wrong size, wrong industry, wrong person also. You're back to square one, and that slows you down big time. Even when you got a big list when you got a big list and it's really hard to know who to go out after, there's no clear signal. on on the processes, and you're just guessing. And you should reach out to this company or that company. You're not quite sure where to kick things off. So you're really missing out on a lot of good chances. And my favorite is this one. Actually, this is one of my favorite moves when I talk to customers, and I really kind of shape their mind. Another email of, "Hello, my name is my name is Tal from Lusha, and you know how about Lusha can help you out with 1, 2, 3 ABC." So when you don't have insights or context, it's hard to make your outreach feel personal. And when it's not personal, it's getting ignored. And on top of that, I promise you today, our prospects are expecting us to create a custom email built exactly for them. So we need to keep that in mind. So, Chen, let's kick things off and let's talk about what it means to prospect like a pro. Now, I always do this on the webinars. I take a step back into the world of BDR. I used to do outbound for Lusha 6 years ago. I used to prospect daily, spend hours and hours of time just finding, investigating, and reaching out to prospects and companies. Data is key to a successful outreach. It's the same as it is today, same as it was 6 years ago. And we need to have tools that help us to remove the guesswork and allow us to focus and search for prospects and contacts and companies that are the right people to engage with, right companies. So what do we need here? We need a large and accurate database. We need data on prospects and we need data on companies. We need smart signals to prospect like a pro. We need smart recommendations, AI recommendations that Lusha has today to cut down the manual work. So I guess, Chen, share with us a bit more. We are looking forward to hearing from you. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Tal, and I fully agree with you. So I will reintroduce myself one more time. So my name is Cheni Chieli. I'm a data product manager. I'm managing the company's data team and actually part of core data group. So all we do, Tal, is to try to fix that issue and try to provide the actionable, reliable, accurate, trusted data for you to make your life a little bit easier, because I know how hard it can be with all the responsibility and all the stress that you have on top of you. So let's talk a little bit of how to prospect like a pro and how to turn buying signals into a valid and informational data. So next slide, please, Tal. And thank you for having me, by the way. So thank you everyone for being here and to having me here. So the base for all is a solid data. We are trying to provide you the best company data. From that, you can put a lot of prospecting filters, and I will show you in the demonstration how you can put the filters to find the right match for your ICP, your ideal customer profile. And I would like to explain a little bit about two amazing filters, the technology and the industry. I will elaborate a little bit more in the next slides. And also to talk about what we came here to hear is the intent buying signals that actually prioritize the list, prioritize your matching companies to the ones that really want to engage with you or that interest in the topics that related to your offering or service or product. And that's amazing. That makes the key, and it's provide you the actionable and actual data from that week. So we will talk about it and I will show you exactly how to do so. And after that, you have an ICP prospecting list prioritized by intent, by interest in your offering. And that's amazing as a base to outreach and to talk with the personas and leads. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the data. First of all, next slide, please, Tal. First of all, here are some numbers. And you can see here the coverage, the 60 million business profile capture, and the 6 million companies, the profile data. And I know that when you are trying to compare it to our competitors, maybe you will see that the coverage is less than them, but we really try to provide you the trusted data. So each companies that my team and I provide you, we try to verify it, and not just expand the coverage. So that's our mission, that we know how hard it can be to navigate in a big data world. So to provide the trusted, reliable, accurate data. Let's move on and talk a little bit of how to prospect in that data world. And now we are getting to the three triple data amazing features that you have. So the first one is the filters, and I believe that all of you or most of you are familiar with our filters. We have companies and contact filters, and I will demonstrate it and will show it for you. And it coming from firmographics data like company name, if you already know who you want to reach out, the locations, the size of the company, the year that this company founded, some financial informations and financial signals like revenue, funding, and so on, and a lot of other filters. And I will talk specifically about technology and industry because I think that there are some special information behind it. And then the signals. So the signals make the change. The signals, that's the way you can prioritize and you can understand beyond the flat data. And that's an amazing way for you to take the static information and take it into your decision making, whether to talk with the company or not, and of course the alert. So let's dive into each one of them really quickly. So the filters, as you know, we have a lot of filters. We have the industry filter. So this is actually a machine learning model that provide a classification of each company related to what industry, and you have the primary industry and the secondary industries, and all the SIC and NAICS codes that you can filter by to find the right prospect for you. We have the company size that, of course, can show you if it meets your ICP, if it meets your ideal customer profile. We have the funding and revenue data to provide you some financial insights. And we have the technology. So the technology filter is actually a data science machine learning model that takes a lot of web signals, a lot of job posting, employees' profiles, and from that get you the information whether the company add a technology that related to you, or that you offer as well, or that they are using a competitor technology, and then you can provide maybe a better offering. So for example, Lusha, we know that we work very well with companies that use a HubSpot or Salesforce, so we will try to reach out to those companies. Or if we know about a competitor or companies that use a competitor tool, maybe we will try to provide them a better offer to move to use our products. Let's move on to the signals. And in the signals phase, we are using actually the Bombora AI tool with over than 16,000 topics. And the AI and the intent-based tool actually provide you the information whether the company interested in the last week. So it's refreshed on a weekly basis, and provide you information whether this company is interested in your topic that related to you, or in a tool that related to you. So all you need to do is just to search the related topics that related to your offering or product or services, and that makes the change. On top of that, we provide the signal strengths, so you can see whether the intent were very high, or warm, and that provides you the information whether they really interest now in the topic or not. And I think that's amazing, and you will see it in the demonstration how it can narrow down the list to the right contacts. And of course, you have also the option to have automation on top of that. And let's talk about the alerts, and you will see how to automate it. So next slide. Yes, thank you, Tal. So you have three automations. You have the intent alert. So you can set an alert to get notification to you on the list of companies that you are interested in, and to see whether they are interested interested in your intent, it's a live and alert to get. Also, you can set a technology to see whether a company added a technology that you are related to, or complementary with, or a competitive tool. And the job change alert to see whether a key contact moved to another company. And that's amazing to stay on the loop with the refresh data. Let's move on for the next phase. And actually, in the next slide, you will see this is the recommendation tool, the AI-powered recommendation. And Tal and Max talk about it in the previous webinar, and I really, really recommend you to see that. But the recommendation tool, it's really a game changer. So based on your use in Lusha tools, you will be able to get more recommendations from Lusha of contacts and companies to reach out. And that's amazing. I will show you also how to create your list. Me and Roy, we will show you how to create your list live with more recommendations. But that's a game changer again, and I really, really recommend you to review that and use it. And I think that that's it from my end, and I will demonstrate really soon how to do it.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Chen, for taking the time to teach us more about the data side. We really appreciate it. So now on to OE. Now, OE, Chen shared with us a lot of key factors and values that Lusha provides for us whenever we need it. So now what? Now our mission is to turn these data points and signals into booked meetings. So OE is our engage expert and will now connect the data to the outreach side. So what are our next steps that we need to take so that all the pieces fit together and we can create a sales streaming process?
Great. Thanks for the intro, Tal, and thank you, Chen, for showcasing all of our wonderful data and filters and all the different features that we offer. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about how to initiate the best outreach. So really, our pro tip is to really have a one-to-one alignment amongst, your signals that you're monitoring in terms of your intent topics and your sequences that you set up. That way, you will set up your sequences in the most efficient manner. It will be organized, and it will make more sense for further automations in the future. But really, in terms of best practices, and why you should do this, it's all about, staying relevant and reaching out at the best time. And that's really what our intent topics and signals help us do. And really, in terms of best practice and in terms of flow, when using our engage feature, first you should create a contact list from the high intent companies that will be mapped. Again, all of this we will showcase in the demo shortly. Make sure that your email is integrated and connected so that way you can actually send emails and your prospects will receive them. You can then also set up some playlist automation so that way your list will continue to grow automatically. And we are actually going to be pushing those new contacts into your list based off of your previous ICP and previous shows. So that way the contacts added are relevant and can be used in the sequence as well. Once you have your list in place, you can go to Engage, set up your sequence. You can use our AI feature to help with the writer's block and get that content written quicker. And make sure to add contacts from the list that was set, for the contacts with high intent. That way it's really, integrated well. Make sure to activate your sequence, and then you can also set up some automation to push contacts automatically into the sequence. So that way you don't have to do any work around, automatically, manually prospecting. So yeah, that's in terms of best practice workflow from signal to outreach. In the next slide now, let's talk a little bit about how you can set up your sequences. So you have three options today in setting up your sequences. You can either use the AI assistant, email templates, or create from scratch. AI assistant can quickly help you generate content uh, in accordance with your intent topics and goals. So that way you can start your outreach quicker. You can also use our email templates, which are, have been written by marketing experts. So you can check those out if you want to use a template instead. And if you're very picky and you have some your exact content in mind, you can also use Create from Scratch, and that's a great option for your outreach. Now, in the next slide, we'll talk about why you should automate on top of your email sequences using our further automations. Um, so number one, you should definitely set up playlists. So that way, your high intent lists will be growing. Um, it will be further contacts from the relevant ICP, and the previous shows will be added to your list, and that way, you can spend less time prospecting and more time engaging with prospects who are replying to you and are actually relevant to the deal. You can also automate the contact addition to a sequence, so that way you don't have to manually go and add contacts every time. You can, for every contact that's added to a list, you can set up an automation to automatically push the sequence, and that does save time and we don't want you to do any repetitive tasks, so that's really helpful. And at the end of the day, we've created all of these features to help you focus on what matters, which is, closing deals, booking more meetings, and we hope that this gives you value. And I think we can proceed to our next step, which is the demo.
All right, cool. Thank you, Roi, for the breakdown and the steps that we should take. So yeah, so let's dive into a live demo from Chen and Roi. They are going to share with us everything we just talked about and see it all in action.
Yay. So let's get started. You see my screen, right, Tal?
Let me
Roi,
check.
can you see?
Yes,
Yes.
see your screen.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to start by building our ICP. So we'll move to the prospecting search. I will do it by companies, but you can do it whether it's contact or companies. It's just what result are you going to get, whether it's a company's result or contacts. As I said, we have a lot of filters. We have company name, whether we know already what is the name. We have the company location, industry. So let's get started. I will start with companies, in the United States. Let's move on into the technology filter, and I'm going to search companies in the technology fields. In the employee head count, let's say 200 to 500. Revenue. So let's say I'm looking to 10 million to 50 million companies. As you can see right now, I have 2,000 companies in my ICP. So let's try also to prioritize it and narrow it down. I will take the technology. So let's put Salesforce and HubSpot. As I said, these two technologies really related with Lusha. And now I want to make the magic. So here is the intent filters that can really personalize and prioritize this list of 1,000 companies to know who to talk with first. So first of all, I need to set the intent topics.
Guys, I'm sorry, Chen,
Uh,
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but it seems that they cannot see your screen. So I think it's best if Tal, you could stop sharing so that Chen can start.
I'll stop.
Risha,
Let me know.
sorry. Guys,
Yeah,
we'll
sorry
start
about
again.
that.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, guys. A little glitch here. Let me just stop sharing to double check and make sure that you can see the screen. Yeah, some are saying they can see it.
You can
Okay.
see. Amazing. So I
Looks
will
good.
start from the beginning. Yay. So we are going
Sorry
to
about that.
No, that's fine. So let's start again. We will try to match our ICP. So I'm going to put the company location. So let's say companies in the United States, in the technology industry. next, and here you have also the seek and nikes and the specialties and keywords. Then I want to say what is the size of a company that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for companies of around 200 to 500 employees in a revenue of 10 million to 50 million. Let's put apply. As you can see right now, I have 2,000 companies and I want to narrow it down. I want to prioritize it to who I'm going to reach to. I will put also the technology. So as I said before, I will do Salesforce and HubSpot. And now I'm going to do the magic. So here is the intent filters, and this is the one tool, the one filter that will prioritize this list to for me to know who to reach out first. So first of all, I need to select intent topics, and I will select intent topics that related to Lusha. So interest in those topics means that those companies interested in Lusha. So first of all, let's do just 1 second, sorry. Sales prospecting. Yay, you can see here that it's all set. Customer engagement. Amazing. And sales engagement. And we can also add call recording. I don't need to use all of those intent right now, but I do need to set those topic at first. So I'm going to select to set those topics. And if you want to add more, you can do it by the topic selection here. And now, as you can see, it prioritized this list from 2,000 to 50 companies. And I see the signal level, the intent level. Lusha is very hot because I selected a lot of data that is related to Lusha. And also the others. So that's amazing. And that's create things for me to know who I need to reach out now, because those companies very interested in topics that related to me. And that's amazing. And if I will remove some, I will see that it will change per the topics that I added. So that's great. And I'm going to take all of those companies, the very odd companies, and put it in the list. Let's create a new list. I intent companies, save it. Now I have the new list that I have created with the 3 high intent companies that were interested in my topics. I can set an alert here to get a weekly alert on whether those companies got interest in the next week and so on in 1 or 2 or 3 intents that I select. So I can see also whether if I want to have a select criteria, so to get a notification on each interest in one of those topics, and I can get notified. I can also set an alert of technology change, whether one of those companies in the list add a technology or change or remove the technology and so on. And also I make this list live and get more recommendations around this list. And also Roy is going to share you how to do it for the contacts. So now I have intent companies, and that's amazing. And they know that are really interested in my topics. Roy, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, so I'll take over the share screen. Does everyone see my screen? We good to go?
I think so, yeah. Looks good. I can see it now.
Great. Cool. So thanks, Chen, for that demonstration. As you guys see here, we have our high intent companies. Chen showcased how we can also add the automation to add similar companies. You can also do this, you can set this as an automation on a daily basis, weekly basis. You can set a maximum number of companies to add through this, and we will take into consideration the previous companies that you've added to the list, and that way we will add more similar to it. That being said, now let's take it and start the process of taking these high intent companies and beginning the outreach process. So for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to focus on outreach on Lusha. And so that I'm going to click on view employees. That takes me to the prospecting search where I have some contacts here. Some contacts I already have saved their contact details. I can also show some other details. So for example, I want to select the rest of this page and show details. So I can show email and phone numbers. Great. Now I have these new contacts, and for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to want to target a specific persona. So I'm interested in targeting product directors. So director of product design, director of product, um, vice president of product, and I want to start an outreach flow because that they are the ICP that I'm interested in currently. So that being said, I can actually create a new list. I'm going to call it the high intent product directors. Continue. Now, as you see here, we have this new contact list, and I have these details for these contacts. Now, before I proceed to outreach, because I'm interested in these type of personas, I can also go similarly to as we did in the companies page. I can add an automation to add similar contacts. Can also set it up on a automatic frequency, either daily or weekly, set a maximum number of contacts, and so forth. Now, that being said, I want to go to Engage and actually set up my sequence. So I'm going to head to Engage through this tab. And as you see here, before I start anything, I should connect my email. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my email. And now basically I can begin my outreach flow. I'm going to start off by clicking Build Your First Sequence. For the sake of the exercise, let's use the AI assistant. As you see here, I can select the purpose of the outreach, the tone of voice, and I can add additional context. So here you can add more information about your target audience or outreach goal. But you know what? Let's just click generate and see how our AI works, even without that detail. So as you see here, it will take a few moments for the content to be loaded. And you get two options. You can review it. You know, there's a first option here, second option here. I'll go ahead with the first option. And here I can go and edit my content by clicking here. You can go and edit the content however you'd like. The next step, once you're okay with the different steps within your sequence, is to add contacts. For the sake of this exercise, you know, since we have set up our high intent contact list and the point of the sequence and outreach is to target the high intent contacts, I'm going to add the high intent product directors to this sequence. So that's done. Also going to change the title of the sequence to high intent product directors. That way we have a one-to-one link between the list and the sequence, as we mentioned earlier. That way we can always keep it focused and organized. The next step is to set a schedule. You can go over what dates you want to, and time frames you want to allow sending your outreach for. For now, let's leave it as is. And the last step is to review and activate. So for now, I'm just going to set a delay because I don't want to activate this now, but let's say I'll want to activate it tomorrow. And I can activate sequence. So that's great. We have our sequence activated. Now, that being said, I want to go back to our high intent product directors list, and I want to do an additional automation. You know, as we mentioned, we might do further prospecting and more contacts will be pushed to this list. We might add some automation for add similar contacts. And I don't want to always manually push them to sequence. So the automation we're going to set up now is the auto add to sequence automation. So as you see here, there's an option to select only new contacts, which means new contacts that are pushed into this list will be auto added to the sequence. I'll select that. As you see here, we have our high intent product director sequence set up already. And I'm going to click add contacts to sequence. And there we go. Our second automation is live. Our sequence is live. And we have started our high intent outreach flow. And yeah, that'll be it for today.
All right. Let me go back to share my screen just to confirm that you see the Q&A part.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Chen and Roy, thank you so much. A lot of important information. It's time to level up the Lusha game. Take everything that we talked about today, implement that into your daily processes. And yeah, let's go into some Q&As. So we have a question. Is it possible to import a CSV with, for example, name, email, company, or info, and get only the LinkedIn URLs back? I think this is a two-part question here. So I guess, anything about the CSV import to engage, I guess, is important here. And perhaps I'll talk about the CSV enrichment because I think it could be split two ways, this question.
Yeah, so regarding the importing CSV as an option for sequence, yes, you have the option to upload a CSV to add contacts to a sequence. And yeah, you have that flexibility there, so you don't have to only rely on our prospecting tool or lists. So you also have that CSV upload option.
Right. And I guess I'll also add, because so previously this wasn't actually available. We can only take data that was added from Lusha's database. So you showed credit or you showed a detail on a prospect, you acquired that data, and then you can actually go and push it into the Engage platform. Today, you can just take an external file and then just import those emails into the Engage platform. I'm not sure, there could be another side to this, so I'm going to answer it in a different way. There is a CSV enrichment platform that allows you to take a first name, a last name, and a company name, and you can add a bit more data points if you want to. And in return, you'll get the phone numbers and emails if Lusha has data on that person or data on the company. And to the question about the LinkedIn profile, yes. So when you give us the first name, last name, company name, you also get the LinkedIn in return with the phone numbers and emails. So credits in general will just be used as of today when there's a phone number email, but you get data points on top of that. So we kind of answered both sides. I have a question here for Chen. How does the funding filter work? There are a few questions about this, so I guess it's just good to kind of give us a 360 view in short.
Yes, so actually I haven't decided to show you the filter of funding, but funding is really important to know and to use as a used filter. We actually get all the funding information from funding news, from other vendors. So it's updated once we get a target or information about new funding, we will add it into our filter as well.
Nice. Thank you, Chen. I see you add suggested times to talk. Is that the recommended best practice? I believe, I'm not quite sure, maybe this is about in the Engage platform way. I think it was a raise around that area when you had like the hours.
Yeah, so currently the default time frame set, they're just default. It's not suggested, but that's definitely a great feature request to offer some suggested times to talk. But yeah, you can just go ahead and customize your time frames that you are okay with sending out emails within that step of your sequence setup.
Thanks. For Chen, what about SIG NAICS codes for Europe?
Mm-hmm. So SIC and NAICS are specifically for the United States. You can always use that taxonomy or dictionary also for you if you want to filter by them. We also plan to add more company informations, like other industry classifications, codes also for Europe, and much more to be added. So stay tuned, and I really hear you.
Thanks. One for Roy. Do you have the option to manually personalize messages in the sequence before they are sent?
Yes, so as showcased in the demonstration, but either whether you choose the AI option, the template option, or the create from scratch option in your sequence setup, you will always have the chance to go and edit that step and the content that will be sent out. So you don't have to worry about some, template or AI content being perfect. You can always come in and personalize it and edit it to your liking. Additionally, you can also use our dynamic variables that will allow you to, not worry about your outreach being generic and actually making sure that it's personalized for your entire sequence.
Thanks. Do we have data on open reply rate, click rate on the emails?
Yeah. So after you activate your sequence, essentially there you'll have some status table, which will showcase the status of each sequence. And there you will have open rates, you'll have bounce rates, and you'll have reply rates. Regarding click rates, we currently don't support that, but it is in our backlog. We will likely support it in the future, but for now it's not prioritized.
Thanks, Louis. So another one, we are a staffing and recruitment firm, and we're trying to identify fast-growing companies that might benefit from our support. What intent signals or keywords should we look for to spot companies actively hiring or expanding? So I'm just going to say that again for you, Chen. We're a staffing and recruitment firm, and we're trying to identify fast-growing companies that might benefit from our support.
Okay, so using the intent topics will be the best for you. And as I showed on the selected the intent topic, so I just used the keywords and typed what I looked for, but you can also use there on the search by category. And there are a lot of categories, not only for recruitment, but for others as well. But you also have for recruitment, hiring, and onboarding section. So the best way to do that is to search to try find the right category that match your needs, and then from look at what intent is the best for you. And again, try to find an intent that's related to your company. That interest in that intent means that they will be interested in your product or services.
Amazing. Another one for you, Chen. Could you please show me where I can filter intent signals by date range? For instance, I want to see companies that have been searching call center software in the last week. I guess I don't have to show it, but explain it, yeah.
Okay, so all the information that we are providing on intent is about this week. So that means that it's refreshed to this week. We don't have a time frame that we can use or look at previous or old data, but you have to, but you need to know that each week or each time that you're looking at the Lusha tool, it's refreshed to this week. So it means that intent means interest in this week in those topics.
Sweet. Thank you, Chen. For sequences, are there fields beyond the person's name that can be automatically added for personalizations? So I believe this is like the dynamic fields, I think it's called, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So aside from first name, we also have last name, company name, job title, contact country, and industry. Those are all fields that you could use as dynamic variables. They will automatically change in accordance with the prospect that the email is being sent to. And yeah.
All right, cool. And do you have the option to manually personalize messages and sequences before the messages are sent out? Wait, didn't I read that one?
Yeah, so we answered that earlier, but really if you use the AI option, for example, maybe it wasn't clear enough, there's like a little edit, like pencil icon on the step within the compose page. And essentially there you can go into the steps content, edit it, personalize it to your liking, and then save it before proceeding onwards to activating your sequence.
Nice, thanks. Let me see if there are any more questions here. Okay, I think we're good. So, Gen and Oy, thank you for the Q&A part. Always important to address the questions that come from our customers. Now, I want to take a quick moment to talk about like the A to Z kind of motion. So, and like before, I always take a step back into the world of BDR when I used to do outbound. So, if I had these tools back when I was doing prospecting for Lusha, this is exactly the steps that I would take. I'd start first just searching for a few contacts on the search platform. I would then use the recommendations, the companies, and of course, contacts. From there, I'll make sure that I have different lists built off of exact personas and exact, company criteria, for example, but making sure that they're all unique. So each list has its own area. It's crystal clear that there's a certain kind of persona here and a certain kind of company there. I'm talking about multiple lists here for both sides, right? Companies and contacts. And that list can be today activated to a playlist. And I can connect that playlist, or first of all, before that, the playlist actually Lusha adds automatically for you contacts and companies that match the persona or company criteria. But if I take a look at the contacts and I activate that in the playlist, I can, of course, connect that to the Engage platform. So that's I call it autopilot mode. I mentioned it before. So you set it, you forget it, and the way that I express this is just you wait for the replies. And there's so much power there. Like, forget about all the manpower, the man work, the basically all that heavy lifting that you had to do in prospect. It's gone. So just let Lusha do the heavy lifting for you. Set it to go over automatically to Engage, and just while you're sleeping, you're basically getting replies of those who want to talk to you. So that's it for today, everybody. Again, thank you all for joining. Let me see if
Thank you, everyone.
Questions. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for spending the time today with us. It means a lot, really, for the fact that you guys took the time to learn about new ideas and how to prospect like a pro. Big thanks also to our amazing Lusha team for the insights and the walkthroughs, to Luis, Chen, Alina, Asaf, Peleg, everyone who helped to create the session to make it a lot easier and clear and actionable. Now, we'll be sending this recording after the session, so feel free to revisit it and, of course, share it with your team. A reminder, you can also find our Academy page and our webinar page on the main website under resources, also on the Lusha Messenger itself. So feel free to go and grab a course or sign up for our training webinar. We really go in depth into the platform. But that's it from us today. So go crush those pipelines, keep the momentum strong. And as always, happy prospecting, smash those goals, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
everybody.